entrepreneur who's launched multiple businesses while creating a local network within the veteran community here in Virginia Beach.
All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. I haven't talked to this many people in a long time. Usually I'm on like Zoom, and I don't know how many people are watching what I'm doing. Got this thing. Let's see. I don't want to be in the way. Can you see the slides? You tell me. Okay. All right. So who I am or who are we? I guess I could say like who I am. Most everything that I do with somebody else. I usually have a team. I can't really do anything by myself. I'm not like I'd say self-sufficient in every single thing that would take to be able to do what happens when I do it. So, all right, so I'm a Virginia Beach native, Navy veteran, joined the Navy to see the world, and they did send me some places, but I got to be stationed here, so my family's still here, that's pretty good. Entrepreneur, you'll see in a little bit, I don't think that I really like working for people, so, you know, and there's like this old adage, it's like your boss is an a-hole, and so now I'm the boss, so that's good. All right, so we got these businesses. 1701, if anybody doesn't know, we started back in 2016. Co-working space, first one in Virginia Beach. Ran it really good until June of last year. And we ran it through COVID, which was fun. Fathom Coffee, Military Collaborative. Hotbox Sauna, which is our newest venture. You'll see a little bit about that. I like to explore, I like to invent, I like to solve problems, I like to do it with other people. All right, so does anybody know what this is? Yeah, this is back when Virginia Beach was cool, and we're gonna get back to being cool. So we're gonna make Virginia Beach cool again. One of my favorite buildings, like as a kid driving down, I think it was called 44 then. You know, you had to throw money in this little bin and then you get on the road. Was the ones over there at the far left, which is called the Pavilion, and I was like, it was like arches. I was like, McDonald's made the coolest building. And then there was this other one here that looked like a missile silo, but it was the dome, so we'll get back to that. But if you look at this, by the way, does anybody have any idea what year this was?
80s, 70s, 90s.
Yes, 68, 69.
So this picture was 1990. Yeah, satellite imagery from 1990. So before they knocked that down and put another convention center there that basically is the same footprint. But you can see there was not that much going on here. We're actually right now right there. 1701 was right there, and Fathom Coffee is right there. In that, actually, the shadow is about that. It's like I didn't know that it was going to be there. All right. So sorry. All right. So does anybody know what this is?
Portsmouth Naval?
Yeah, Portsmouth Naval. So that's what it looked like when I was born there. It looks more modern now. It's not cartoony anymore. And then yeah, so I was born there.
I think that sailboat is still parked.
It's still there.
Yeah. In the water.
So 1981, there was a cool blizzard, and we always used to go and sled down Mount Trashmore. There was a soapbox derby lane there. I don't know if anybody knew that, but that was really cool. And so we used to ride our skateboards down that. I'm not in this, but that was the only picture I could find of it, so that was pretty cool. Used to go boogie boarding down the ocean front. When I was a kid, the ocean front looked like this. That's the Duck Museum. You know, that's the Boardwalk Hotel, which is now like a giant place. But that's what it looked like, and the boardwalk was cool. There was grass, and there wasn't a bike lane. All right, then so this is my life as a kid growing up. Like I literally like aspired to be this picture, and I was not the kid picking his nose. I was the kid with the cool blonde hair that flopped over, but I didn't have cool blonde hair, and my hair was like wavy, so it didn't work out. Used to go here. Look, this is the Haygood skating rink. It looked exactly like this then, and it looks exactly like this now. And I don't know if this is true or not. I do have this memory in my head of going there, and there was a roller skating bear there. Like, I think that actually happened. All right, so this was two of my other favorite kid memories here. Where the Harris Teeter is now, across from it is like a printing place, and they didn't sell. And so there's a giant like apartment building or something like luring over. It's like that movie where they built that thing and then the guy's up. Yeah, it's like the printing place is like up. But right next to that there's some condos, and the big banana slide was there. That was really cool. And I never even put this together until I was putting these slides together. But huge humongous, and then the big banana, and I was like, oh. Although I don't know if Gorillas or whatever he is, but that's the original one before somebody shot a flaming arrow into him and then he burned down and they rebuilt him. And it was called Jungle Falls, and then it was called.
It was actually the guy that built it. It's the same guy that set it
Then it was called like Wildwater Rapids, and now it's called Ocean Breeze. Anyway. And then I would spend time going to Busch Gardens. I wasn't there when this happened, but like it's one of my favorite memories of Busch Gardens. If anybody doesn't know, that's Fabio. Apparently he's famous for killing a goose with his face. All right, so. Is if you ever go to Normal, Illinois, which by the way, Bloomington and Normal are like, I don't know. So I lived in Bloomington but went to school in Normal and I was not normal. But the pub too is still there. It's pretty awesome. But right next to it was a place called Abe's Caramel Corn, which was in that little building over on the left. And so I'd go there and I would spend all the money that I made and it had like, it said like figure one, it says, for the expert, it's just a blank page. There's nothing there, so I was like, I'm gonna learn computer stuff, and I'm gonna teach myself, and I'm gonna make money doing it. So Lisa Denoya, who's my business partner. She's over here. And on the first day of being there, I had to get up and give a presentation in front of like 350 people. So at the same time, my dad needed a hobby, and this is the second iteration of our coffee roaster. He started roasting coffee on a cast iron skillet with a wooden spoon and just made a bunch of smoke in the house. Then he bought this thing and started roasting coffee, and Lisa and I would get it, and we go, this is the best coffee we've ever had. And so we would take it with us places, and people would be like, this is the best coffee we've ever had. Can we buy some? We're like, no. We're roasting coffee on this thing. We can do, in 1 hour, we can do 1 pound. So we ended up saying, you know what, we're not going to sell it, but we're going to start a secret underground coffee shop inside my office. So people would go up, they would go up to like reception, and we're like a not secret, but like a secure building. You check in, you get a badge, and then they come down to my office, and then we close the door and we make coffee. And everybody thought that we were having business meetings. And then after a while, they're like, "Are you guys recording a podcast?" Which we weren't. And so like there's our coffee set up over there. This guy came in and he had the same color pants on that Lisa's dress. So later on that day, we're like, we should go get a building. So this place is up here now. We were like really excited about renting it, and it was called, I forget what it was called before this. It was an adult shop, and we were gonna put a co-working space in there. And then and I've been talking to the guy who owned it, and a couple days later, Lisa's driving by and she says, there's some people in there, like, they're tearing up the carpet and stuff. I said, well, they must be getting ready for us. No, it turns out they rented it to somebody. So now this is La Tapatia 2 over there. So we didn't get that building. But then a couple days later, this guy from Economic Development calls. He's like, hey, there's this other building that's available. Do you want it? So we went and drove by and looked at it. We're like, what's that?
Which was like 4 times the size of
This is 4 times the size. So we're like, cool, let's get it. And then we took all the stuff off of it. And then we're like, cool, we're gonna open up and we're ready for business. And but we didn't have any furniture. It's a 4,500 square foot building with nothing in it. So somebody's like, I want to come work there. So that morning I got up, I went to Lowe's at 6 in the morning when they opened. I got 2 sawhorses in the door. And the guy showed up, he's like, do you guys have a chair? And I was like, I'll go get you a chair. So we started doing things there, whatever we could to make money, because our idea was to get people to pay us to use our space. Kind of like a gym, but instead of coming to work out, you pay to come to work. But we didn't have any of those people yet, so we started doing things. We're like, we're gonna host events. And so I don't know if she stole the name of the garage, but this was called the garage. We did events in the garage.
You're an inspiration, I did.
All right. Then we did other things. We did like pop-up markets and clothing swaps, and we converted this room. This person's like, I need a place to meet with my patients, and so she did therapy in there. So we set it up. You see, there's a couch and a box of tissues and whatever. And then we invented the first Internet of Things enabled bathroom. So you can just push that button, it would send a push alert to us if there was a problem. We got a lawyer who was like, I want to help people start businesses. So he came every Wednesday for 2 hours and sat there for free to help businesses get started. My dad got another roaster. And in the garage, we did a roasting demonstration for people, and we put that up. Lisa and I were doing like pop-ups all the time. Pop-up markets, pop-up events, whatever. Selling coffee. We did another one of these things. This was like really big for a while. This was Lula Rich. If anybody's seen the documentary, I think if you did that, I'm sorry, you're probably not doing it anymore. We hosted Christmas parties for Stand Up for Kids. So we literally were doing whatever we could. By the way, none of these things really made us money, but we're like, we have this building now, we got to do something, and so we're trying to network. And then we were like, let's do Small Business Saturday. So we started Small Business Saturday for the Vibe in 2016. Still kind of had an empty building. We started a magazine. First, we called it Stomping Grounds, and we're like, that doesn't really do anything for our brand, so we changed it to 1701 Magazine. We did more like pop-ups and stuff, and the coffee was just like, people were coming to the door and ringing the doorbell because some Yelp guy came and made a Yelp account for us. And then people would ring the doorbell and they're like, can I have coffee? I said, no, you can't buy any coffee, but I'll make you some. Which is how we got.
Anybody know how we were actually paying for all this stuff? We are also running an IT.
Well, you'll see that. Yeah, you'll see that. So this is how we got our first review. I didn't even make the Yelp account. I didn't even want people to come. By the way, if Frank is here, you're a jerk, but I made him coffee. So like, he didn't say like,
for free.
but so 1701, by the way, this is pre-COVID, this infographic, but you can see we had a pretty big impact. At one point, we created 7% of all of the new businesses for the city of Virginia Beach. A lot of people moved out, so like one of our employees moved out and she started a thing called the Annex. These other guys moved out and started a thing called Sugar Skull Creative. People were signing leases, going over. So we ship it flat pack, and it comes through, you put it together, and it's got like a cockpit opening, you just sit down in it. So it's super cool. We're selling them. If you want to buy one, they're available now. Fathom Coffee is one of our clients for Port Starboard. It's also us. So we made the website for that. Here's Lisa and I again at another pop-up. Like they were never the same. We didn't have like a standard process. It was just like load a bunch of stuff into our cars, a folding table, a pop-up tent, and go and try and get people to buy coffee from us. We did one over at the old Tenant E. Now it doesn't look edgy like this. It looks like a very fancy, like British parlor. If you haven't been over there, I'm British. Anyway, so then we got another roaster because everybody was buying it and we couldn't keep up demand on the other little one we had. So here's my dad. He calls it the Fathom Coffee Laboratory. He does a lot of experimentation. And then Christina. I thought I saw her, maybe somebody that looked like her. Anyway, Christina, who owns Esoteric, she's like, hey, this space is available. Do you guys want to move into it? It was directly diagonally across from us. We're like, yeah. So we opened up Thanksgiving weekend 2019, and we didn't have anything in the shop except pour-overs. Like, everybody's going to want to come and just have pour-overs. And then COVID happened, and we're like, nobody's going to want to come. And so, but fortunately, like, we really hadn't already like formulated exactly what we were going to do in the shop, and we were very flexible. So we just wheeled this thing to the door, and we did, you could come up there and get it and then run away because, you know, like, you want to drink the coffee, but you're afraid of us. Somebody, you know, everybody were like, you gotta wear masks. And this guy showed up wearing that. I couldn't tell him that was against the rules, because it wasn't. And then we're like, let's keep on innovating. And so then we started doing curbside delivery. So curbside delivery was pretty cool. That was Lisa, if you can tell. And then COVID went away and everybody had a beard. So that was cool. So this was the shop, and it's constantly changing. We're always like changing like shelving and whatever. So like this picture doesn't look like that today in there. We do a lot of stuff, collaborations with local businesses. So Lynn Edward River Now, the Navy Special Operations Foundation, and now we're doing this with the Virginia Aquarium. They have Komodo dragons. We have coffee from the island where the Komodo dragons are from, which is Flores, which is in Indonesia, which I didn't know anything about. And I asked my dad, he's like, I think I flew over there at some point during Vietnam, which he did, in his logbook he had it. So we just started selling coffee with them. So Brady, who's our other business partner, the Hot Box, is like, I'm going to make you guys a little commercial. So we just launched recently canned nitro coffee, and so he's like, I'm going to make you a professional commercial. I could never do this. I could think in my head like what I want it to be, but I could never do it. All right, so if anybody went to the Naval Academy, they got the same ship, mate, self. We just flipped it around, but you know, the idea is that the collective is more important than the individual. So I said bikes, we like to get up, and so the rise piece, getting up early, it's pretty important to us. But we would get up and we tried to get this bike game, the Virginia Beach Single Speed Beach Cruiser Racing Association of America. And we got 5 people into it, so we were a bike gang, and those are the only 5 people who would get up at sunrise. It's annoying. All right, so like I said, I like to get up early. I find that in the 2 hours between when I get up and when everybody else gets up, I get probably as much done as most people get done in an entire day. Mainly because of the lack of distractions. So this is me, I was on vacation, and there was it was like some kind of seance ritual place / yoga thing, and the sun rose over that little thing. This is in Joshua Tree. I went there, 22, well, it's like negative 10 degrees here. I got out, everybody else got stuck here. All right, so the jobs I've had, and I think this is important because, like, people always say, like, oh, you get these businesses. Who gave you the money to start these businesses? And I always say, well, I worked really hard and I saved a lot of money, and then you know, it's something too long. I was like, and now you're sitting in it, or you know, in the coffee shop. Now you're experiencing, you know, where all my money went. But having had all these experiences, I think it's huge. People who want to just be an entrepreneur, they're like, I don't have any experience. Like, they are probably gonna have a hard time. it's going to be challenging. And if they're trying to do it by themselves, and there's like this solopreneur, lots of people are doing it. I think it's hard. I could never do it. So that's why I need a team. I probably have a lot of other jobs. I think the handyman janitor, like if you have a building and you don't have a like a property manager, you're gonna spend a lot of time doing everything, plunging the toilet to fixing the lock in the bathroom to I can fix that. Like there's a guy across the street that's did you know there's a hardware store?
I do not have a charge account now.
And then so what's important We do that. You know, everybody always comes to us and they go, you know, it'd be really great. It'd be really great if you did da-da-da. And they're like, are you gonna pay for it? They're like, well, I'm not. And that's
100 businesses or more that came through the Vibe, through 1701, that got their business license, that grew out and expanded out into bricks and mortar all over the city. And that helped us advocate for the small business grants that we got back in 2017 and 2018, which are now citywide for all small businesses in the entire city. So thank you all for what you've done here as a team and in partnership with us. And I don't know how you get up at 4 o'clock, but God bless you. All right, thank you all for coming. We're going to meet next third Friday. Next month, we have the theme Native, and our speaker is going to be a beautiful artist. Her name is Rowena Thin, and she's a Filipino artist who really connects to her Filipino roots, even though she never lived there, but was born there and transplanted to the US. So we're really excited to hear her come talk about the theme Native, so I hope you all will come back.